to you the Cline 3 version that have been updated like 2 days ago. So if I scroll down on their GitHub repositories, so you can see there are multiple changes done on their GitHub repository and as well as on their VS Code extension. So if I go to the VS Code extension, there are multiple features that have been launched for this client extension. Okay, so I already installed this client extensions from here. If I click over there, I already installed it. So in this video, I'm going to show you the all features they have been updated on their extension. So first of all, if I go to their repository, so you can see the most demanding feature is like we can now access multiple features like multiple models here. So you can see we have meta models, we have OpenAI model, we have multiple Hugging Face models, Mistral AI, and a lot of other models. Okay, and the second thing, we can run the commands in the terminal. So uh, if we ask the client to access or test the application, like I already created the Flask application here. So if I ask it to test the application, so what it did here, it actually first of all run the command here in my terminal. You can see it run the command here. You can see this is used by the client. Okay, and then it accessed the browser, and then it gives me a notification. Even if I show you the notification, you can see the Flask app has been successfully updated and tested. Okay, so this was the notification. So it tested my application as well. So it can now access the terminal, it can run the commands, it can access the browser, and it can test the application as well. Okay, now if I go down there, so the next feature, now it can create and edit the files. So if I go to my VS Code like client, okay, and if I open my history here, you can see first of all I created this application. So if I open this, you can see I asked it to create an application that can read the Excel file and then it can show on my web view. So if I show my application, it created here. Okay, so I just did it command, it created all of the files in my code base. Okay, so all of these files are created by client, not myself. Okay, so if I go there, you can see it created all of the files here. It executed everything and then it launched the application, so I can see in the browser. And then I asked it to make the design modern and responsive with tailwind CSS, and then re-edited everything on my code base. So you can see here client is editing this file, and now client is creating a new file, and lot of flaws you can see here. So everything is done by client, not myself. So I just put a command here and it did everything for me. Okay, so this is the next feature. And if I go over, okay, now it can use the browser as well. So it means if we ask it to run the application, it will run the command like for the Node.js, it will obviously run this application npm run dev. But as you know, my application was in the Flask. So if I open my history here like this, and when I asked it to test the application like this, I asked it to test the application and it executed this command in my terminal, and then it opened this in the browser and it tested my application here as well. So this specific application is opened by client, not by myself. Okay, and then it tested the application, and then it gave me a notification like your task has been completed successfully. Okay, and now we can upload the files and we can test by as a user or as a client. Okay, so that's what they have added in the client extension. Okay, and now we can also add a tool. Okay, if you want to add a tool like that fetches Achira tickets, or we need a tool that manages AWS EC2 extensions and a lot of other tools, we can obviously add in their model context protocol. Okay, so next thing is we can add a context as well. So if you want to add a URL, like if you want to train our client model or client agent on specific documentation, we can use like this. So we can put it like this. Okay, so we will type this, we will type URL, and here we will type our the URL that we want to train on. Okay, and we can write our URL here like docs.com specific API documentation. We can send it here and it can be trained on that specific application or specific documentation. Okay, and the next thing, we can obviously, if you're facing some problems in the terminal, we can use this command. Like we can use this problems at rate problems, and it will fix all of the problems. It will first of all access the problems, and it will try to fix them. And if you want to add specific file, we can use this. And if we want to add specific folder in the context, we can use this folder. If we add the folder, it will be access to the all files in that specific folder, and our client agent will be trained on that folder, or will access those files in that specific folder in the context. Okay, so that's what they have added in their documentation. Now let's do something. So first of all, I will obviously test this application. Like if I upload this, and you will be see it's working very well. Okay, and now I can upload another file. Okay, now first of all we will create another application. Okay, so if I go there and if I delete all of these files, now I will make a simple program. And one more thing I forget to tell you, like we can set the client rules as well. So I just created a client rules file here, dot client rules. If I open this, what I written there, I just written, you must add the changes summary and files that have been changed in changes.md file. If file don't exist, create it. So this file it created as well, and it added the summary here. So it added the summary, like what types of changes it has done and what specific files have been changed, and everything will be logged out in this specific markdown file. Okay, so now let's uh, open the client here. So basically, first of all, you need to enable this extension client, and after that you need to set your OpenAI key. You can click on this setting button here. You can choose the model that you want to use. I prefer this model because it saves a lot of cost, and it's very smart model. Okay, and then you can obviously set your OpenAI key, and you can also choose another API provider like Anthropic, Google Gemini, or anything like Olama. So I prefer OpenAI because I have access to OpenAI, so I just use it. And we can also use custom instructions here if you want. Okay, and then you can click on done button, and if you click over here history button, it will show you all of the histories, all of the tasks that you did with this client. And this is MCP servers, and if you want to add another task, you can click over there and it will create another task. Okay, and here you can open this in editor mode. You can test it as well here. Okay, so the one more thing, if I open specific or a specific task, or if I create another task like this, so in the bottom side you will see auto approve. So if I click over there, so you have multiple check boxes and options there, and you can enable them. So if you click on auto approve, it will auto write and auto edit and auto run the commands in your code base. So it will no need to ask you again and again to accept the approval. So you can click on auto approve, and it will automatically create the files without your permission. So read files and directives, you can enable this option. You can edit the files. Now you can execute the save commands in the terminal. You can use this browser for the testing purpose. And now you can set the max request that it can ask before your approval. Okay, and you can also enable the notification like I received here. Okay, so that's it for this client uh, VS Code extension. And now we will create another agent here, uh, and we will create another task here to create another application in the Python to show you how it works. Okay, so I'm going to delete all the files. I just select it and I will press it like this. Okay, and now everything is clear there. And if I go to my file section, there is nothing. Okay, so I will close all of the files. I will close all of the tabs here. I will close the terminal, and now I will command it like something special in the client to create the task. Okay, so if I go there and if I click on create a task button, now I can create the task here. Okay, so I will type the task here and it will create the files and folders in front of you. Now this time I will ask it to create a CSV reader in the Flask, and let's see what it does. Okay, so I will type here, I need a Flask CSV reader that can read and show the CSV content in the browser. So I just sent it, and now it's running the task. I think I rejected it maybe. So let's do it again. Okay, I typed the command again. I need a CSV reader that can read the CSV files and show on the web browser. I will just send it, and now it's running here. So let's wait for the output. Now it's creating the request, it's creating the content here. Okay, so once it created the files, it will obviously create those files in my code base as well, because right now it's editable. So after it finished, it will obviously show in my code base. So let's wait for it. So it's creating a new file, it's doing css content here, and it's executing index.html, and now it's running the command as well, I think. Okay, so it run the command, and now I can obviously test this in my browser too. So it completed the test as well. Okay, because it's running very well. Okay, let's see what it does if I open this on my site. So I think I need to open this on 8000 port. Okay, if I open the CSV reader or CSV file here, like if I job scrapper, or okay, if I open this CSV file, I think this is CSV file, not CSV file. So I need to find CSV file first of all. Okay, I just found a CSV file. I will click over there. I will open it, and now you can see, even if I reload the page and I will choose it again like this, and you can see the content there. So it's working very well. So that's it, how to work with Cline. And now if I go to my code base, you can see all of the files I created there. Now if you want to edit something, you can obviously ask it here, like I need to rename the app name to this. Okay, so now you can execute it, and it will automatically add the changes. You can see it changes here. It will write the files again in my code base, and now I can test the web application on my browser again. So task completed. If I go there, and now you can see it has changed the title of my application here. Also, if you want to create the client rules, you can create the file here like this, client rules, and you can write the client rules here. So I just created this client rule. Make summary of changes you made and files that has been changed in this specific file, in this specific markdown file. And if file don't exist, create it. Now it will obviously create all of the changes in the changes.markdown file. So suppose that if I go again and I ask it to rename this, we did it. So now let's see if it create the changes.md file here. Okay, so it changes this. Now I think it will create the markdown file as well. Now you can see changes.md file is there. Now if I open this, you can see it has logged the change, and it has logged the file that it has changed right now. Okay, so if you like the video, hit the like button, and if you have any queries, you can ask in the comment section, and obviously you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye.